In this video, I'm going to show you how to control the autofocus on your Canon DSLR for sharper portrait shots. Come on Ruben, let's take some pictures. There are many components that make up a professional looking portrait. Having a lens like this Canon 50mm f1.4 makes it possible to achieve the shallow depth of field look that isolates the subject and throws the background into a pleasing textured blur. But it's the sharpness of the subject's eyes that can really make a portrait stand out, and this comes down to being in control of the focus point. Taking photos with the family gives a fun and challenging environment to hone your portrait skills. So let's look at how the AF point selection on your Canon DSLR can affect your chances of capturing a great portrait image. First, let's get our exposure settings working for us. A good starting point for this type of shot is AV mode, with the aperture set to around f2, or as wide as you can go on your kit lens, and then the ISO set to auto. With these settings, you know you'll be getting the sought after shallow depth of field, so letting the camera work out the shutter speed and ISO means you can give more attention to the composition and timing of the shot. Even in a semi-automatic mode like aperture priority, the default AF point selection is automatic. You can see this on the 600D by pressing this button on the back of the camera, and all 9 of the available focus points are highlighted and therefore active. Let's see what happens when we leave the camera to work out what it thinks we want in focus. I'm going for a particular type of shot here, with Ruben's face positioned to one side of the frame, looking across into the space on the other side. The automatic AF point selection seems to favour the centre point, which isn't very helpful when your subject is off-centre. And even if I compromise by altering the framing, the auto selection will more likely focus on the part of the subject closest to the camera, like the nose, which leaves the eyes soft. Now I don't feel confident about getting the shot that I want, so I'm going to try the focus and recompose technique. To do this, we need to tell the camera to snap to the central AF point. Press the AF point selection button until manual selection is displayed and the center point is highlighted. Now, regardless of what is in the frame, the autofocus system will always snap to the center point. So, going back to take the shot, the technique here is to place the center AF point over the eyes and half press the shutter button to focus. Remember, I want Ruben placed to the side of the frame, so keeping the shutter button half pressed, I need to recompose the frame and then take the shot. This focus and recompose can be done very quickly, but you'll notice if I zoom in on the image, even though I focus on the eyes, they are still slightly soft. Even the small movement needed to recompose is enough to knock the focus out, so I need a better solution. From the start, I've known where I want my subject to be in the frame. Now, where that focus and recompose method works well in quite a few situations, if you want to be more deliberate with the composition, you can place the AF point in the area of the frame where you want your subject to be. Now, back in the AF point settings, with manual selection still displayed, use the navigation buttons to select the focus point you want and then half press the shutter to activate this point. Now I can make small tweaks to perfect my intended composition, and the moment where my AF point falls directly over the eye, I can focus and take the shot immediately. I have set up my camera to do exactly what I want, and finally I can enjoy the shoot and capture some great expressions, knowing that I'm giving myself the best chance of getting the eyes in sharp focus. It only takes a few seconds to manually select the AF point, and we've seen how it solves the issues with auto selection and the focus and recompose method, and gives you more confidence on your shoot. So get deliberate with your portrait photography and select the right AF point to make your shots really stand out.